Before we jump into this video, I wanted to let you know that Bowmar Nutrition is having a huge Labor Day sale where you can get 15% off your order. So be sure to use my code HollyK at checkout. They are launching a new peanut butter spread, jalapeno meat sticks, their cookies are restocking. Get your greens, your protein powders. The sale ends Monday, September 5th. Thank you all so much for the support. Now onto the video. Hello everyone. If you're watching this video when it goes live, I want to apologize for the large mass that is the September TBR. As you all probably know, I moved recently and I'm still working out the kinks when it comes to reading, trying to find a routine when it comes to all of this newness. It continues to feel like I'm staying in a hotel and not at home. We're also still settling in, building furniture. Even my library behind me is still being organized to an extent, so reading has definitely taken a back seat. Even working out, like I haven't gotten back into my workout routine yet and I'm definitely feeling it. I am so achy. So you know things are weird when I push my two favorite hobbies to the wayside. But September is here, finally, and the space is starting to feel more comfortable. I feel ready to get back into the game. Put me in, coach. So my plan for the month is to basically drown myself in books. Just pack that shit on as much as possible. I have picked out some shorter fantasy to start with, and then just bouldering through with huge, big, popular fantasy later on. I hope you respect my masochist intentions. I took a good look at my bookshelves, and these are the books that are calling out to me. We are dipping our toes into that spooky season a little bit. I'm really excited about all of these, so let's jump into this TBR. So the first book is one I'm currently reading, so I'm going to quickly run through it because I talked about it in my previous video, and that is the Monsters We Defy. I was already very excited to read this when it was announced, especially when they released the cover, and got even more excited when I was blessed with this beautiful paperback. So I couldn't help myself. I read the first page, and then you know how that trap goes. You read another page, and then another, and suddenly you're in the middle of the book. I'm not far into it by any means. I think I'm on page 70, but I'm really liking the story a lot so far. It is a historical fiction at its heart, taking place in 1925 Washington, D.C., following a quirky group of characters on a heist while the main character can talk to ghosts, which I love stories like that. I love ghost stories, especially when the characters get to interact with the ghosts and maybe they become friends. I don't know. But one is kind of threatening her, so hopefully it can keep up with this exciting pace it has. I'm enjoying the setting, which I'm not used to because I normally read fantasies in made-up worlds. But that 1920s era is interesting, especially through the eyes of a Black character. A lot of important scenes have played out already, and the way the author highlights African-American folklore is very gripping. It also has some funny moments as well in between all the serious ones, which I always appreciate. I will continue this immediately. In fact, right after I'm done filming this video, I'm gonna go sit down on this couch and read this damn book and probably finish it because the writing is like buttery smooth and it's not too long. So first book of the month already in progress. And then I'm pretty sure my next read is going to be The Drowned Woods. I haven't been this excited about a YA novel in a really long time, and the reason why I'm pumped for this, oh, this is the Outcry edition by the way, is because this author's previous book, The Bone Houses, surprised me so much. I loved it. It was a 5-star read for me. Actually, let me grab it for you because they both match, which is both a blessing and a curse, because if I love The Drowned Woods, we can celebrate by enjoying this matching set, but it might be a curse because we're going to be a big sad if this book sucks, and I have to separate the two by unhauling it. But this was set in medieval times in a small village. The main character was a gravedigger, and there were zombies, nothing gruesome. They reminded me of like Sir Daniel from the old video game Medieval. A talking goat, like come on. Oh, and there was a romance, but it was a friends to lovers romance, which I prefer way more if there does have to be a romance. All around, it was a fantastic book, so this one sounds quite different though. The blurb is very dramatic though. The oceans will rise, a kingdom will fall. The girl learned that water could save a life or take it. It was a lesson she wouldn't forget. So it kind of sounds like it has like a nautical centered story, but also woodsy. We have a magical setting that is set in Wales, so we are continuing the Welsh mythology, which the Bone Houses had too. And our main character is basically a waterbender. We got some like Avatar The Last Airbender elements happening, but she's forced to use her magic for evil because the prince controls her, and then enter a corgi. and other characters, but a freaking corgi to help her bring down the prince. I think it's going to be a really quick read. It's not long at all, and this author's writing is slick like butter, so it should be a fun time. Nothing better freaking happened to that corgi though. The next book that I would like to prioritize in September is Ruin Nation, for many reasons honestly. It's the first novel set in the League of Legends universe, which sounds amazing. I love video game lore, and I'm always looking to dive deeper. Oh, and you don't have to know anything about League of Legends to enjoy this. It's its own story, and hopefully, since I haven't read it, the author writes it in a way that it just reads like a standalone fantasy novel. I'll let you know in my review because that's very important. I know a few of you said in the comments you were worried about that, so I will keep you updated. So we have a king who becomes maddened with grief when his wife is struck by an assassin with a poisoned blade, and his niece Callista, who is his advisor, military general, and just like all around close family member, has to take up the mantle to help resecure the kingdom from his distraught behavior. She has to travel to a rumored location that could save the queen, while also being chased by a vengeful warden, and she is struck with the choices to be loyal to her king or not. Overall, learning more about the lore, whether it is from the video game or brand new, diving deeper into these characters in book form. It's going to be different, but my curiosity is piqued. Honestly, I kind of feel like this book came out of nowhere, and hopefully we can get more stuff like this. Maybe they're secretly working on more. Yeah, I'm super hyped for this. I'm probably going to picture it as animated in my head like the actual video game, which will just make it even more fun. Speaking of fun, I'm definitely in a specific mood to an extent. I really want to read something fun, adventurous, lighthearted, and I want to stick to something from my bookshelves that I physically own. So I saw Nevermore. I've owned this for years. In fact, I bought it because Kristen from Merrily Kristen gushed about it back in the day. And I think it's time. I finally want to dive into this. It's aligning with my mood perfectly right now, and I don't know when I'll be feeling this mood again, so we can't waste it. Actually, when I was unpacking my books and saw this, I was like, I cannot believe you are still unread. Middle grade is kind of like the candy of genres. I don't read it often, but when I do, I enjoy every second of it. So the story centers on a young protagonist who is cursed and is accused of everything troubled in her town and suddenly sentenced to death. But then she's rescued by a mysterious stranger named Jupiter and whisks her away to Nevermore, a place full of magic and charm, though she does have to compete in these trials to be able to stay, which will save her life. I know this is fantastical, whimsical. I'm probably going to fly through it as you do with most middle grade, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I know a lot of these books I've talked about recently, and I apologize for that, but I have another, and that's Notorious, Sorcerer, which I do have a physical copy coming, and I cannot wait to see what it looks like. But for now, we have to deal with an image on the screen. I don't know. I am just really in the mood to read physical books right now, which I'm not complaining about. Your girl needs to read what she already owns. One of you actually mentioned in a comment that this book sounds like a darker shade of magic, and I have to agree, it really does, because it mentions like different worlds or universes that our character has to travel to, kind of like different versions of London in a darker shade of magic, so totally see the comparison. And I'm excited to see if any other threads match up with that. This follows an alchemist who just wants to be as successful as the others around him, and his job requires him to gather really rare ingredients for his clients. That's where like the portals come in, but he discovers one ingredient that could possibly put the city in grave danger. I just don't know what to expect with this one, but I'm excited to see what the world is like, the magic. It's all very much a mystery to me because, like I said in my September releases video, the cover is giving me a way different vibe than what the synopsis entails, so we will find out together, I guess. Okay, I feel like I should end this video here. Those are most of the books I would love to read throughout the month of September. There are definitely other books I'd love to get to, but as I'm talking more about these books, I'm realizing that I'm putting a lot on my shoulders, but I would love to get to House of Hunger. I want to chip away at the first binding, but that's 1,000 pages, so who knows when that'll be finished. I want to continue Babel. I really hope to do a full video review for that one. I also would love to continue my journey through the Rhaenyra Chronicles by reading Rise of Empire, which I need to get a physical copy of still. I'm clearly in the mood to read everything, and that's because summer is almost over and fall and winter are like on the horizon, which is my favorite time of year. The feeling of wanting to read everything is both good and bad because I'm happy a slump is so far off the radar that I want to read, but also it's not possible to read everything right now, and that is maddening. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you'll be reading in September, and until we meet again, happy reading.